What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 211, and we start today's episode off with a game against Spurs here in the Capital One Cup semi-final second leg. Now, of course, in the first leg at the Emirates Stadium, we won the game by 1-0, so coming into this game, just making sure we avoided defeat would be enough for us to go through to the final. But of course, we want to win it, but Spurs' team obviously is very strong indeed, some very decent players in that lineup, but our team was also really strong because it was our first 11. Yes, now I know in the Capital One Cup I usually rest players and play a lot of fringe players, but of course in the first leg in the semi-final we did pick our strongest first 11 because we need to win some silverware this year, and Capital One Cup may not be the most coveted of trophies, but we'd still want to win it. So that's why if we win this game or just avoid defeat, we'll be going through to the final. I thought it would be best to pick our strongest first 11 and really go for it. But the first couple of chances fell to us and then Spurs. Lazari's header was well saved with the goalkeeper, and then that strike went just wide the post. And then another good chance for Spurs there, but again Inter has to make a good save and keep it at 0-0. And from that we went on a break, and Ozil finds Lazari here. Lazari fake shots around his man and plays that wide towards Callum Chambers. Chambers ball rolls around his man, then a fake shot, gets tackled by Ben Davies, it comes to Niang. Niang plays it back to Chambers with the fake shot, keeps on going, then holds it up, plays that wide towards Serge Gnabry. First time crossing to the box, and Lazari's header goes just over the bar, but it did take a slight deflection, so the referee gave a corner. And from that resulting corner, as you'll see, it's crossed into the box here by Niang, into the centre, looking for Sonny Mario Williams, and his header hits the bar and is cleared away by Spurs. So both sides having really bright, fast starts in this game, but it was still goalless. In the 37th minute, there was Mesut Ozil picks the ball up here. I can go on to counter-attack, as you can see, and I go on the break here with Ozil finding Niang. Niang finds Rodrigo Lazari, who goes through one-on-one with Gelios, and Lazari, just such a clinical finisher, so composed, blasts it past the goalkeeper and makes it Spurs 0, Arsenal 1. So 2 goals up on aggregate. Lazari, the Italian, with the goal, and just a really quick counter-attack there. As soon as Ozil picked the ball up, I knew what we needed to do. It was going to be a 3-on-3. We played it to Niang to Lazari, and Lazari blasts it past the goalkeeper. So 1-0 to Arsenal here at White Hart Lane going into the break, and that is absolutely fantastic news for us. So going into the second half, we knew Spurs would have to score 2 goals in this game, otherwise we will be going through to the final. And from kick-off here, Lazari shoots from range, but it goes just over the bar and behind for a goal kick. And another great chance fell here in the 50th minute as Spurs tried to get themselves back on level terms. Yedlin finds Ceballos finds Christian Eriksen, and his strike ends up hitting the woodwork and is cleared away. So Eriksen hitting the bar there, it was still 1-0. And just before the hour mark here, we crossed the ball in, it's headed away, but it comes to Callum Chambers. Chambers finds Serge Gnabry, who drills in across, picks out and by Niang. Niang finds the back of the net. Spurs 0, Arsenal 2, 3-0 on aggregate, and the game is done there as Niang celebrates in front of the travelling fans, makes it 3-0 to Arsenal, and there is no way back now for Spurs. So 2-0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate, and we are surely through to the Capital One Cup final. I couldn't really see Spurs coming back because they were actually playing alright, but defensively they were just all at sea. They couldn't really deal with any crosses into the box whatsoever, and on the counter-attack we kept on looking lethal. They pushed loads of bodies forward, and again you see us go forward here. Mesut Ozil holds the ball up, plays it through towards Rodrigo Lazari, and this is what I mean about Spurs defending. What on earth is that? That is just shocking. 2 players seem to get in each other's way. I think it's Ceballos who ends up falling over as he's about to clear the ball away, and Lazari just runs onto it, makes it 3-0 on the night, 4-0 on aggregate, and Mauricio Pochettino must have been tearing his hair out of this because this was just absolutely terrible defending. And you know, mistakes happen all the time in FIFA, you know, it's just one of those things, and you know, it does happen, you know, not just to you but to the AI as well. Mistakes will happen defensively, but it's still really funny when players trip over their own feet, and it's a simple finish for the striker. So Rodrigo Lazari makes it Spurs 0, Arsenal 3, and I really do like Spurs, you know, I do like Spurs. I've managed them twice in 2 separate career modes, but in this game they were just laughably bad. I mean, seriously, it was just so embarrassing defensively. They just kept on giving the ball away. Every time we ran at them, they didn't really seem to know what to do. Whenever we crossed the ball in, it was really easy for us, and I thought this was a really nicely worked goal. Very good build up there, and Ozil plays it through the middle, and Niang could not miss. I thought that was a very nice goal there. Quick passing, and Niang couldn't miss the finish after Ozil laid it on a plate. So Spurs 0, Arsenal 4, 5-0 on aggregate. And you know, I said it before, you know, I do like Spurs, and I've managed them twice on 2 separate career modes, and I'm sure, you know, I may end up managing them again one day on another career mode, but it was just so easy. Like defensively they were just absolutely terrible, and you know, Spurs, when they're managed by the AI manager, they usually do alright, you know, they usually do pretty decent, but in this game it was just so easy to break them down. Unfortunately for us, we would concede a consolation goal for Spurs in the final minutes, minutes. Christian Eriksen headed the ball in there in the 90th minute to give Spurs a consolation goal. Of course, they were going to be going out. There was no doubt about that. It was Spurs 1, Arsenal 4. And of course, on aggregate, it was Spurs 1, Arsenal 5. So we were going through to the final of the Capital One Cup. That was known for a long time, but it was still very disappointing to concede and lose our clean sheet in stoppage time. But yeah, a very comprehensive victory. Again, the Spurs defence kind of made it easy for us. It was really, really routine just to break them open time after time again. But even so, a very nice win. And to win 4-1 away on your rival's pitch is always going to be a nice feeling. So we are through to the final of the Capital One Cup. Delighted with that. And again, it may not be the trophy we're desperate to win, but we'll certainly take it. And we do need some silverware come the end of the season. Still following that, Atta had a loan bid, and it came from Real Madrid. Now, he is on the loan list right now as Zlatan's regen, but I just don't see the point in loaning him out to Real Madrid. The whole point of loaning Zlatan's regen out is to get him some game time. He's not going to get the game time at Real Madrid, so I just rejected that, and hopefully he'll get another loan bid and he can go to a club where I know he'll probably play some games. We put in a bid for Mehdi Mancialdo, a left midfielder who currently plays for Augsburg. He's 77 overall and he looks really, really decent. And also a bid for Lassie Mulfap of Barcelona as well. We put in £15 million for the guy and we'll wait and see what they say. And also some tournament prize money for progressing to the final of the Capital One Cup. Pretty pleased with that. And yeah, again, I'll say it again, I'm not really too fussed about the Capital One Cup, but you know, it's still a trophy we would want to win because we do need to win a trophy come the end of the season. Even though we wouldn't be too fussed compared to the others, it's still something we have to give serious consideration to because we do need to win something this year. Still following that, a bid came in for Lauren Koscielny after I requested some funds from the board, and as you can see, Koscielny is going to leave the club and join Bayer Leverkusen for £1.5 million. Now, Koscielny's been at the Emirates Stadium for over a decade now in game, but he's 35 years old, he's 80 overall, he's costing us 90 grand a week. They come in with £1.5 million, the German club, and I said, yep, feel free to take him, and that looks as though Koscielny is now on his way out of the club. So it's a bit of a shame, you know, it's the end of an era really, Koscielny playing a decade of worth of football for the club in game, but you know, we need to start building a younger team here at Arsenal. We're already doing that, and Koscielny, it's time for him to leave. He's probably going to retire at the end of next season, so whilst we can still get a bit of scratch for him, we may as well do so. But I thought this was kind of funny as well. As you can see, Koscielny does get sold here, and the player conversation says that he wants to play in the next game. That's just absolutely hilarious. He said, I've been in good form recently, so I hope you don't bench me for the next game. I've gone one step further and sold you instead, you know. So Koscielny's gone. I thought that was kind of funny, but Koscielny's gone, and yeah, it's a bit sad. He has played for the club for over a decade in game now, so it's a bit of an end of an era, but we don't need Koscielny. He's costing us wages, and we're trying to build a younger squad, and there you go, simple as that. But you may have noticed as well, we did put in a pre-contract bid for a central attacker midfielder from, I think it was Werder Bremen. I can't pronounce the guy's name, so please don't ask me to, but he's 86 overall, and he looks like the perfect replacement for Mesut Ozil. So yeah, he should be, hopefully, touch wood, coming in next season on a pre-contract if he agrees to accept that contract in the next episode, and yeah, I'll take that deal all day long. Still following out, we take on Derby County for the second and final game of today's episode here in the FA Cup, as Derby come and take us on at the Emirates Stadium. And as you saw by my team, I did make 11 changes coming into this game, as a lot of them were tired from the game on Wednesday night against Spurs. So 11 changes coming into the team and coming into this game, so a good chance for the players, the fringe players in this game, such as Illaramendi, such as Vargas, to prove themselves, and both of those players actually linked up for the first goal of the game. Illaramendi crossing the ball in, the Chilean Vargas gets on the end of it with a header, puts it past the goalkeeper and makes it Arsenal 1, Derby County 0. So Vargas, of course, I have been trying to sell him in this January transfer window, but no clubs have come in for him yet, and you know, he's proving that he doesn't want to leave the club. Clearly, you know, first he was playing for a contract, now he's playing for well, at least another 6 months at the club, and he just keeps on scoring goals. So maybe we should keep hold of him. So Arsenal 1, Derby County 0, and in the 18th minute here, Miaichi finds Mathieu Debuchy, who picks out Illaramendi. Illaramendi finds Danny Welbeck, who carries the ball over the halfway line and keeps hold of it, takes it around his man down his right hand side here. Is he going to cut inside with step over? Yes, he is, but he lays it off towards Rani Unlu instead of striking. Unlu finds Cazorla, and Santi Cazorla, considering retirement, scores and makes it Arsenal 2, Derby County 0. So Koscielny's gone, Debuchy's retiring at the end of the season, Cazorla is considering it, but he probably will end up retiring. So you know, those three players, some of the veterans in this team, are going to be leaving. But Koscielny, you know, whilst he was playing for us, did do pretty well. You know, Debuchy's put in good shifts at right back whenever he's played, and Cazorla, he hasn't done too much for us, but that's a really nice goal. And he's showing that even though they may be veterans in this team, even though they may not get in the team that much, they're still capable of putting in good performances and doing good things. So Cazorla makes it Arsenal 2, Derby County 0. And to be honest, the game seemed as good as done at that stage. Derby weren't really doing much until the 42nd minute, where Szczesny, back in the team, made a superb double save. That was brilliant from our Polish goalkeeper. Of course, Carboni's coming in for free next season. Chris Ince has replaced him in the first team for now, and that is a brilliant double save by Szczesny to show that he doesn't want to get sold just yet and wants to keep on fighting for his place in the first team. So still 2-0. In the 54th minute, we did seal the game though. Danny Welbeck ran clear one-on-one and smashed it past the goalkeeper to make it Arsenal 3, Derby County 0. Good finish by Danny Welbeck there, and it was how the game would finish as well. A comprehensive 3-0 victory for Arsenal. We are through to the next round of the FA Cup. We're through to the final of the Capital One Cup as well. We're hopeful of getting something this year and some trophy this year, at least one. And you know, you never know. Good performance here in the FA Cup. We could win both the Capital One Cup and the FA Cup. With performances like these, you certainly wouldn't bet against us. But that is going to end the episode. So as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave likes. It is much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.